The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN2 studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 3-0 Colfax Vikings will try to remain unbeaten as they take on the 3-1 Durand-Arkansaw Panthers in Dun-St. Croix Conference action. The Panthers will be playing their third game this week, in addition to games last Friday and Saturday when they defeated the St. Croix Central Panthers 70-59 and St. Croix Prep Academy 53-37 in the St. Croix Prep Academy Holiday Tournament. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, Jay Fall and Dan Petchow will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. Why? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
Welcome back to Viking pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's game between the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are trying to remain unbeaten following Tuesday's 69-59 win over the Mondovi Buffaloes. In that game against Mondovi, the Vikings were led in scoring by 6'4" senior Jack Charlo, who hit 9 field goals and went 4 for 4 from the free throw line for 22 points. He was followed by junior Blake Johnson, who made 6 field goals, including 2 3-pointers and a free throw for 17 points, and Elijah Ensminger and Nick Jensen, who had 12 and 10 points respectively. Leading the way rebounding for the Vikings was Nick Jensen, who pulled down 12 boards. Jack Charlo followed with 6, and Elijah Ensminger grabbed 4 rebounds. So far on the season, leading the way for the Vikings in scoring is Jack Charlo, who's averaging nearly 17 points per game. He's followed by Elijah Ensminger, who contributes over 15 points per game, along with Blake Johnson and Nick Jensen, who each add nearly 10 points per game. On the boards, the Vikings are led by Jensen, who averages over 7 rebounds per game. He's followed by Jack Charlo, who grabs nearly 5 per game, and Blake Johnson, who averages over 4. The Panthers are the defending Dun-St. Croix Conference co-champions. They finished last season with a 22-6 record and were 12-2 in the conference before bowing out of the tournament play to the Cameron Comets 71-65 in the WIAA sectional finals, just missing a trip to the state tournament. So the Panthers feel they have some unfinished business to take care of this season. So far this season, the Panthers are 3-1 following Tuesday's 66-54 win over the Boyceville Bulldogs. Look for the Panthers to rely on their twin towers under the basket in 6'6" junior Ethan Hurlbert and 6'6" sophomore Dane Bates. From the outside, the Panthers will also get production from 6' senior Dre Bauer, as well as 5'10" sophomore Parker Almstead. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
All right, once again, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Knoll. And Coach, back on Tuesday, the Vikings pulled off what could be thought of their signature win thus far on this young season with a hard-fought 69-59 victory over the Mondovi Buffaloes. Your comments about that game?
Well, I think, obviously it's great to get a win on the road, and that it's a conference win as well. And it's a team that we feel like we've been right there with them. We just haven't been able to pull it out. Last year we had a one possession game with them, and another game that was maybe about 2 to 3 possession game. So we feel we've been close, and we worked really hard this summer to improve in some areas, and I think you were able to see that in the game.
And it appeared to my untrained eye that the up-tempo offense and the in-your-face defense that the Vikings showed in that game, I think might have put the rest of the conference on notice that they better not take the Vikings too lightly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, our defense has been coming along. Coach Kittleson and Coach Height have been working on that, and us as a staff, we've been working on it, and they've been doing a great job. The boys have been listening, working hard, and I think if you watch, as you saw the game last night, Mondovi came out with full court pressure, and that pressure led to us getting some easy buckets at times, and especially as the game went on, I felt like we were just in better basketball shape than they are, and we had more kids that could handle the ball than probably what they expected.
Now, one of the things that I noticed in that game is that you did some fairly liberal substitution, and there did not seem to be much of a drop-off with that. I mean, some players you noticed when they weren't in there a little bit, but overall, things seem to remain pretty steady. It's got to set your mind at ease quite a bit to have a fairly deep bench.
Yeah, that's what we want to have. We want to have a deep bench because, one, you never know when you have kids that are injured, sick, have to miss something for a reason or another. And then whenever you have a deep bench, you also have kids coming back the following year that have experience. So I always try to have a deep bench because it allows for experience for the future as well. And with that said, I do feel like we probably are close to 10 deep. Last night we might have only played 8 to 9 deep, but I feel like we're close to 10 deep.
And it really showed that bench played well because there was no appreciable drop-off in Viking performance when the bench players were in there. And then you had guys, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but tonight, holy cow, you got your work cut out for you. The Vikings are going to take on the defending Dun St. Croix Conference co-champions in the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers. What can you tell us about this year's Panthers, and what special challenges do they present?
Well, I mean, they have 3 starters back from last year's team, and the Ethan Hurlburt kid's like a 6'5", long athlete, and he's going to be he's a tough matchup just because he's super long and he's super athletic, So guys like Jack Charlo and Nick Jensen and Colton Hoffman will have their hands full keeping him off of the rebounds and not letting him get easy baskets. But it's obviously a team effort. We look at as our defense as a team defense. And so, but with that said, they've got a lot of experience. They did graduate a point guard that started for them for sure 3 years, maybe more. And that is going to take some time for them to get used to. But with that said, I like our chances if we play the way that we can and if we continue to share the basketball on the offensive end. We had 4 players in double figures against Mondovi, and when you do that, that's great things are going to happen.
Now, back on Tuesday, you hinted at this. Nick Jensen and Jack Charlo and others had a really strong night rebounding on both ends of the floor. But they haven't faced the likes of the Panthers' twin towers, 6'6" Ethan Hurlburt, 6'6" Dane Bates. What kind of adjustments are they going to have to make things successful for the Vikings?
Yeah, two things. One, I'll go back to our game versus Mondovi against Faulkner. I believe he's probably the best athlete in the conference, and we did a great job against him. Now, Durand, like you said, has two guys that are 6'5", 6'6" range. They're not, Hurlburt is pretty athletic in his own route and his own right. With that said, I think just making sure that we body on kids, making sure that we get one and done. We talk about one and done all the time. What that means is we want to get the other team gets one shot at the basket, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So the more of those that we can rack up, the more that we get into our opponent's head. So we want to get as many one and dones as possible. We don't want to give up 2, 3, 4 offensive rebounds. We've got to find a way to make it a one and done.
Well, Coach Noel, good luck on tonight's game. This could be a dandy. Hopefully, the Vikings can remain unbeaten in the season and in the Dunn St. Croix Conference.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do, I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Vikings are looking to remain unbeaten after their 69-59 win over the Mondovi Buffaloes on Tuesday. On the other hand, the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers would like to continue their quest to repeat as Dunn St. Croix Conference champions. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to Durand-Arkansaw High School, where Jay Fall and Dan Petchow are ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys' game between the Colfax Vikings and the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned, coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Vikings steal the pass. This is Charlo driving down the left side of the lane, puts it up. It goes in and he draws the harm.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 proudly present today's Colfax Viking boys varsity basketball game.
Down to Jensen and on the right baseline, puts it up and in. This is what you were talking about a couple days ago, Dan. Jensen's got to put those shots up, and he's doing it.
Join us as we head out to the gym for today's Viking basketball.
Good evening. Welcome to Durand High School, where tonight we'll have another battle of the unbeatens, at least in the conference. The Durand-Arkansaw Panthers host our Colfax Vikings, boys. The Vikings come into this game with a 3-0 mark overall and 1-0. A big 10-point win Tuesday night in the conference opener against Mondovi. Durand is 3-1 on the season. They're coming off their first conference win Tuesday night as well against Boyceville, 66-54. So this should be another good matchup. The Colfax Vikings off to a great start. And let's go to center court.
And your Durand-Arkansaw Panthers. Now introducing sophomore Gabby Schneider. She delivers tonight's sportsmanship announcement.
The Dunsink Croy Conference and the WIA require good sportsmanship at education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. Thank you.
At this time, would you please stand if able and remove your hats as we honor America and the men and women of service who sacrifice for our freedoms. As the Panther Pep Band, under the direction of Miss Ripsy King Preisel, proudly performs our national anthem. Presenting our nation's colors is the Silver Saber Color Guard, under the leadership of Sergeant Gracie Wood and Co-Sergeant Amber Robilia.
We're a few minutes away from the start of tonight's game. The Durand-Arkansaw Panthers hosting the Colfax Vikings.
Over the Vikings, Vikings and Coach Knoll. A 5'10" senior, number 3, Kyle Irwin. A 5'9" junior, number 10, Elijah Henslinger. A 6'4" senior, number 12, Jack Sharlow. A 6' junior, number 23, Blake Johnson. A 6'3" senior, number 42, Nick Jensen. The Vikings are assisted by Tristan Kittleson and Nick Height. Now, for Coach Radetsky and his starting Panthers. A 5'10" sophomore, number 3, Hunter Armstead. A 6' senior, number 11, Zach Nelson. A 6'2" senior, number 12, Trey Bauer. A 6'2" junior, number 22, Grady Hayden. A 6'6" junior, number 24, Ethan Hurlbert. The Panthers are...
And there are the starting lineups for tonight's game. As we mentioned coming in here, Vikings 3-0 on the season and undefeated in the conference after one game, and Durand-Arkansaw is at 3-1. So as we look on here at Durand High School, we have the Colfax Vikings in road red, and they will go from left to right as you're looking on. Ball goes up, and here we go. Colfax controls the tip. Ensminger in the backcourt to Irwin. Irwin will look around, dish it off in the near corner to Ensminger, back out to Irwin. Irwin will have the ball knocked out of bounds, and Colfax will keep it, heading toward their basket. Into Irwin. Irwin up top finds an open Ensminger down in the far corner to Charlo. Charlo tripped up, back out top of the key to Irwin, down in the near corner to Johnson. He tries a three-pointer miss, going in there for the rebound. Charlo knocked down, and it is rebounded by Ethan Hurlbert, the 6'6" junior from the Panthers. Trey Bauer on the give and go to Parker Olmstead. Olmstead back out on top to Hurlbert. Olmstead left, now in the near corner to Dre Bauer. Colfax in a man-to-man. Grady Hayden tosses it back up to his right to Zach Nelson. He'll drive toward the rim and toss it back out to Grady Hayden. Hayden back out to Bauer. Opposite side to Olmstead. Free throw line extended. He can't find an outlet. Goes to Nelson. Nelson pops it up from 22 around the rim and out. Rebounded by Kyle Irwin of the Vikings. Irwin across the center jump circle, looks left, right, and then tosses it down to Blake Johnson. Johnson trying to get it into Jensen. Ball gets loose, picked up by Hurlbert. Hurlbert will bring it up the floor, and he will be tangled up in the feet of Jack Charlo. And that is the first foul of the game for anybody. 16:30 to go in the first half, and it is, we are scoreless. At the center circle, it is Bauer. Bauer directs traffic. Olmstead comes to help him out on the far side. Back up top of the key to Bauer. Bauer drives, pops it up, dishes it off down underneath to Grady Hayden. Hayden makes the basket and draws the foul.
Fouls on 42, Nick Jensen.
So the Vikings have 2 fouls so far here in the half. Durand yet to be whistled for one, and Grady Hayden finishes off the three-point play, and it's 3-0 Durand. 16 minutes to go, first half. Irwin doubled up. He'll toss it out high to Ensminger, into Jensen, back to Ensminger. He'll look at one from three-point land and bounce it back in the middle to Irwin. Now opposite side, one-headed pass. Irwin gets it back. And Irwin is forced to the half-court line, steps on it, and The ball is turned over to the Panthers.
Yeah, one thing I want to see is Kyle Irwin move that ball a little faster. He's kind of taking his time, and then it's getting Durand defense to block him off there.
Panthers with the ball. Zach Nelson, sideline, free throw line extended. Back around the horn and down to Olmstead. He'll give and go to Hayden. Back out on top and then up to Bauer on the right wing. Opposite side to Hayden. Hayden puts it up for three. Again, bounces in the rim and out. And the pass is knocked down by Parker Olmstead. Olmstead will give it to Zach Nelson. Nelson for three. That one catches the iron, tipped up and rebounded by Nick Jensen of Colfax. Nice and easy out of the backcourt from Kyle Irwin. Irwin up high on the right side, gets it to Jensen. Jensen fires it out, free throw line extended left. Colfax will look at one. They'll bowl it back to Jensen, up to Ensminger. All the way to the other side to Irwin. Jensen down underneath. Shot goes off the glass and good. 2 for Jack Charlo and the Colfax Vikings. 3-2 Durand. 14:43 to go in the first half. Durand will bring it up the floor. It's Kyle Irwin. Check that. That is great. Hayden. Hayden out to Ethan Hurlbert. Into one of the big men, Hayden. He'll turn around from 12. Catches the back iron. Durand tries to put it back up. Colfax comes up with a rebound. That's Jack Charlo who'll pull it out of there. Blake Johnson. Johnson driving. Passes back to Ensminger. Ensminger along the sidelines. Lets it go from three-point land and swishes it in. Colfax takes their first lead 5-3 at 14 minutes to go in the first half. Bauer, one-handed scoop shot to Nelson, and he'll put it up from the free throw line. Bangs around and does not fall. Rebounded by Ensminger. Colfax brings it up the floor. Blake Johnson back to Ensminger. Ensminger in the middle to Jensen. Jensen out in the corner. Open is Johnson. He'll take it for three. Catches the back iron. Bounces into the hands of Zach Nelson. Nelson up the floor, and he wanted to pass it to Parker Olmstead, who you saw was just headed to the baseline and didn't even turn around.
Yeah, Durand's doing a 1-3-1 zone right now on defense, and good job by Colfax to move that ball around. They're getting a little ball movement and finding the open guy and giving open shots.
Jay Fald and Petchow and Rick Olson on the camera tonight from Durand. Vikings move it up the floor from the free throw line. It is Jensen out to Ensminger from the parking lot. Colfax stretches their lead 8-3. Now Durand puts up a three-ball missed. Ball's tipped around. Loose ball picked up by Irwin. Irwin to Johnson. Johnson driving down off the glass too hard and rebounded by Tyler Pelkey. Pelkey to Dre Bauer. Bauer trying to get it down in the corner and to Hurlbert. And he's fouled over his back by Jack Charlo.
Yeah, that's a big foul. Jack Charlo's their leading scorer right now, so he'll have to come off.
Yep, and he also has 2/3 of Colfax's fouls.
Hoffman and Yarrington come on for Colfax.
Bauer throws it inbounds to Dane Bates. Bates having ball trouble, handling trouble, and Colfax comes out with it. That's Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger crosses the 10-second line to Blake Johnson. Johnson out to Jensen. And the pass stolen away by Dre Bauer. He'll fire it down to the other end. Hurlbert puts it up on the left side, and the Colfax lead cut to 3. It's 8-5 Colfax. 12:25 to go first half. Blake Johnson across the center jump circle. Makes a high pass to Yarrington down on the near side. Bounces it into Jensen. Off on the left side, Ensminger. He'll look, drive, pop it up from 12. Puts it in! The foul's going to be charged to Tyler Pelkey, and Elijah Ensminger is going to go to the free throw line to finish off a three-point play here. Shot up and good. Colfax 11.
Ensminger is 9 already.
And Durand pass in the corner to Hurlburt. Bounces out big. Shane Price will come out to pick up the ball. He'll give it back to Dre Bauer. Bauer out to Bates. Down along the left side, halfway down. Back out on top. Then dumps it off to Hurlburt. Down underneath. Shot by Bates. Missed. And he can't keep the rebound. Mason Yarrington comes up with a loose ball for Colfax. Down along the far sidelines, it goes to Ensminger, to Jensen. Back out in the near corner to Yarrington. Back out to Johnson. Yarrington and Johnson back and forth on the right side. Then they bounce it into Jensen over to Ensminger for 3. Catches the backboard and rolls into the hands of Dane Bates. Bates will fire it off to Hurlburt. Hurlburt bringing it up the floor. Back over to Preisel. To Pelkey, back out to Bates. And another pass to nowhere. Ball goes out of bounds. Colfax gets it back.
Yeah, this might be a game of turnovers here tonight for both teams.
10:56 to go, first half. It's 11-5, Colfax leading the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers. Blake Johnson dribbling it out of the backcourt, goes to Mason Yarrington. He'll pass it inside, back out, and trying to get a pass back. And trying to steal it away is Johnson, and they are going to catch him for reaching in.
Yeah, good job by Blake Johnson to take that foul and prevent an easy layup. We'll take that foul any day.
4-1 as far as fouls go. Vikings with that. Coming up with a steal is Ensminger. Goes for the layup, delays a little bit, and it is good. 13-5 Colfax. Durand up top. It goes to Olmstead. Off on the left side to Price. Lets it go for 3. Bounces off big again. Rebounded by, against his own rebound on the floor for the ball. It gets loose. Hayden. Back out on top, it goes to Nelson. His three-pointer missed, and going over the top, Ethan Hurlburt.
Yeah, good job by Colton Hoffman to box out there for Colfax. Draw the foul.
And we have a timeout on the floor, and we will be back. You're tuned to Vikings boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
As you check names off your gift-giving list, Dairy State Bank encourages you to shop local as much as possible. The reasons are countless. For example, local businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs in the U.S. each year. There are times you could save a few cents by ordering online, but when you shop at a local store, you could be saving your community. Shop local for the holidays. It's more important than ever. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Back to action at Durand-Arkansaw High School. Colfax Vikings out in front of the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers, 13-5. Durand started out quick, but Colfax, once they got warmed up, came roaring back with good shooting and deep rebounds, defense. And Durand with several untimely turnovers. Blake Johnson gets the inbound pass for Colfax. He'll move center to left, go in for the layup and attempt, and it is blocked by the Panthers. Grady Hayden up the floor, give and go to Hurlburt. Hurlburt doubled up on, he'll dish it down in the far corner to Zach Nelson on the baseline.
Yeah, good idea by number 34, Colton Hoffman, to slide over, but he was a little too late and has to take. Oh, they called the charge on Durand.
Yes, yeah.
I saw the block signal by the ref.
Up the floor, Blake Johnson. And it looks like we had, looks like he stepped on the sideline bringing the ball up, so Durand gets it back. Parker Olmstead over on the far side up top. Passes it down to Hayden on the wing, up top to Nelson. Nelson pulls up corner of the lane, in and out again. And right there with the rebound, Nick Jensen for Colfax. Jensen to Ensminger. Ensminger will drive it up the floor, pops it up from the corner. And that one's missed, goes out of bounds. It's going back to the Vikings. 9:20 to go, first half. Jay Fall, Dan Petchow, and Rick Olson with you from Durand. Inbounds, pass goes to Ensminger. Ensminger tosses it to Johnson, who tosses it over Ensminger and out of bounds.
Yeah, Colfax has to just kind of take care of the ball a little better here in the first half. They're getting turnovers are starting to climb up there, and that's given Durand some extra opportunities.
Panthers bring it up the floor. It's Dre Bauer. Bauer doubled up on. Ball gets loose. Rebounded by Ensminger. Ensminger, one-handed pass into Irwin. Vikings will set it up. Irwin in the center, give and go back to Elijah. Elijah dribbles through his legs, and the ball goes out of bounds. Fisher was looking over to the sideline. Durand brings it back up now. Bauer. Bauer dishes it off to Parker Olmstead. Olmstead to Bauer, back down far corner to Nelson. Down underneath, Hurlbert in traffic, puts it up and in. First points for Durand for a while. Colfax holds a 13-7 lead, 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. Driving left, Irwin. Ensminger comes to help him out. He'll toss it in the middle to Medine. Medine gives and goes to Hoffman. Now back up on top to Irwin. Irwin off the back iron, no good. It's pulled out of there by Hurlbert for the Panthers. Bauer, one-handed pass to Olmstead, free throw line extended, and Bauer gets it back. Drives from the free throw line, pops it up, doesn't go. Rebounded by Hayden. Hayden caught too far under the basket, and it forces the ball out of bounds. Vikings get it back.
Yeah, good job by Colton Hoffman for Colfax to get his hand in there and tip it off the Durand player like it goes out of bounds.
Irwin across the center jump circle for Colfax. Moves it to the right wing and then tosses it up to Ensminger. To Medine. Ensminger looks at a three-point one. Shot does not take it.
Durand goes man.
And driving in, Nick Jensen. They got his arm as he was going up to shoot. He'll go to the line for two. That foul's going to be charged to the Panthers, Grady Hayden.
His first.
Each team has 4 fouls here in this first half. Nick Jensen looks skyward, sends it up, and rolls it over the front of the iron. Colfax 14, Durand 7. Irwin's second shot missed, rebounded by Hayden. Hayden to Bauer to set it up. Bauer between the wheels. Goes free throw line left to Olmstead. Back out on top to Bauer. Bauer bounces it inside to Hurlbert, puts it up and in.
Hurlbert's got 6 points.
Vikings with the ball, bringing it up the floor. It's Irwin. Irwin stops the free throw line, dishes it back to Ensminger. He'll go up on the left side. Off the window, a little high, pulled out of there by Hurlbert for Durand. Bauer. Bauer out to Hayden, and then Hurlbert for three. Misses everything, but there with the rebound, Dre Bauer. Bauer out to Grady Hayden. Hayden halfway down, give it back to Hurlbert. And back into Hayden, and it rolls around the rim and touched every bit of it and did not fall. Driving, Irwin looks, puts it up, ball gets knocked out of bounds, and it'll go back to Durand.
Yeah, Irwin got stuck down in the land of the Giants down there, and didn't have anywhere to go with it.
Panthers do have some height underneath. 6'2" and 6'6". When Dane Bates is in there, he adds 6'8". Durand can go back and get it. Bauer does. Bauer, stop, pulls back across the three-point arch, bounces out, missed, tipped, and rebounded by Colfax's Colton Hoffman. Hoffman goes to Johnson. Johnson drives in and tries to get it out to Colton Hoffman. And he'll go to the line for 2 free throws as Ethan Hurlbert got him alongside of the head when he was shooting.
That's Hurlbert's second. Team's 5th foul.
Hoffman's first free throw bounces around a little bit and goes down. 15-9. Colfax leading Durand. Exactly 6 minutes left in the first half. And Colton Hoffman's second shot goes in as well. Panthers out of the backcourt. Bauer across the center circle. He'll direct traffic to the near side. Dishes it off. Free throw line extended to Olmstead. Olmstead other side to Bauer. Opposite corner to Nelson. And the ball is knocked away from Nelson, out of bounds. Colfax will get it back. And the Vikings take a timeout. 5:42 to go, first half. It is Colfax 16, Durand 9. You're watching Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered it. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Welcome back to Durand. Vikings bring the ball up the court after the timeout. That's Ensminger. Ensminger to Yarrington up top to Hoffman. Hoffman driving the left side of the lane in the land of Giants. Back to Jensen. Jensen out to Blake Johnson. Johnson has the ball slapped up and manages to keep it in. Hands it off to Hoffman. Hoffman will go toward the hoop, and he's called for traveling. Colfax Vikings boys in their second Dun St. Croix game against the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers. Up the floor, it is Nelson. Nelson drives in between a couple of Vikings players and draws a foul. It's going to get charged to Blake Johnson. It's Blake's second foul of the game, and each team, now that sends Durand to the bonus. Each team has 5, 1 plus 1, and the 1 goes in for Ryan Mason.
That's Blake Johnson's second foul. Colfax
Mason's a 5'10" junior guard, Second one. Rolls out, tipped around. Durand gets it back. That's Bauer. Back out to Nelson. Nelson top of the key. Trying to bring in that rebound and a scurry for the ball. It's going to go back to Durand. They're going to say it went off of Elijah Ensminger.
Ensminger saying it went off Durand's knee. He didn't get the call.
Zach Nelson's going to throw it in for the Panthers. Olmstead comes to the sideline to get it. Back in the middle to Bauer. Bauer down on the left side goes to Hayden. Hayden will bounce it once from the free throw line. Nelson misses the shot. And in trying to get the rebound, Elijah Ensminger knocked it out of bounds. So Durand will keep it underneath their basket. 4:40 to go, first half, 16-10. Colfax leading Durand. Inbounds pass, bounce to Zach Nelson. He'll go up and miss it. Jensen with a nice rebound. Gets it out to Irwin. Irwin down the far side driving. Looking around, turns, bounces it in. Hoffman back outside to Ensminger for 3! Colfax 19, Durand 10, 4:18 to go in the first half.
Ensminger has 14.
From the corner, driving in, Zach Nelson called for a player control foul.
Nick Jensen getting his feet set.
And it looks like he got the wind knocked out of him. Getting up a very slow.
That's Zach Nelson's second foul. Durand's sixth team foul.
Kyle Irwin's going to bounce it inbounds to Ensminger, and Irwin gets it back as the Vikings set things up. Irwin driving the right side of the lane, dishes it off in the corner to Ensminger. Ensminger up from 10, good! Colfax leads by 11. It's 21-10. Quickly up the floor, it goes to Hurlburt. Hurlburt out to Hayden. Hayden to Olmstead. Olmstead, a big bounce off there, rebounded by Grady Hayden. Hayden to Bauer, or check that, that's Hurlburt. Back to Hayden, and
we got a foul on the floor.
Underneath.
I do believe it's on 34. Hoffman.
Okay. Yep, they're going to charge that foul to Colton Hoffman.
That'll be his first.
Each team has 6 fouls so far, so pretty even on defense. Ball's going to be thrown out, and it goes into the hands of Nick Jensen. Jensen to Ensminger for Colfax. Ensminger dribbling between his legs, back to Irwin, up high on the right side. Irwin in the middle to Ensminger. Opposite corner to Hoffman. Ball gets loose, but Mason Yarrington saves it from going out of bounds. Yarrington up to Ensminger. And Ensminger dribbles it once, tosses it to Irwin, and Irwin will look around and wait for things to set up. Drives along the right side of the lane, looking to get rid of it. Will bounce it in to Jensen. And from the corner for 3, Yarrington, it bounces off. Rebounded by Durand. Bauer will bring it up the floor. He'll get it back. Bauer to Hurlburt. Hurlburt driving in. He traveled. He had a little extra hop there in the lane.
Yeah, he tried to get inside. Nick Jensen doing a really good job tonight on number 24, Ethan Hurlburt.
2:41 to go first half. Colfax leads Durand 21-10. Out of the backcourt, Elijah Ensminger. Tosses it out to Irwin up high. Irwin. Back out to Ensminger. Ensminger between the wheels. He'll drive on the left side of the lane and try to put it up, and his shot blocked by Dane Bates. And Bates will take it to the other end and miss the shot. Jensen with a rebound, back up to Colfax. Ensminger driving toward the hoop. Good for a layup on the left. Colfax 23, Durand 10. 17 points for Elijah Ensminger. And Durand with a scoop pass underneath. Durand being harassed by the Colfax Vikings defense. They have been plagued with turnovers here, and the Vikings have caused a lot of them. In the middle, it's Irwin. Irwin driving around a couple teammates. Up to Hoffman. Back out to Ensminger. Ensminger will dribble it nice and easy to the jump circle. Pulls up from the corner, left side, 15-footer, rolls out, tapped around, rebounded Durand. Falls to Grady Hayden as Bauer will bring it up the floor. 1:18 left, first half. Hurlburt down underneath to Parker Olmstead. Turnaround shot missed. A sea of red there to defend the ball, can come up with a rebound. Kyle Irwin across the timeline to Yarrington. Yarrington and trying to spread it out. And Colfax, or the ball goes out of bounds, so Durand will get it.
Yeah, right off Yarrington's foot. Try to make a move.
55.1 seconds to go. .49 seconds. Up on the left side, it is Olmsted. Olmsted to Hayden. Hayden, three-point shot, miss. Bates back up. That falls short, and it's rebounded by Ensminger. Ensminger to Medine. Medine across the 10-second line. Medine being guarded by Olmsted.
Colfax can play it for one.
Holding it up top on the left is Irwin. Irwin gonna wait till things are set up right. Colfax going for one. Over in the far corner, it's goes to Colton Hoffman, and the Vikings lose it as the pass doesn't get to Ensminger. 8.4 seconds left, first half. Inbounds toss for the Panthers goes to Graybauer, and from the corner, three-point attempt rolls off, no good. That's the end of the first half as the Colfax Vikings lead the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers by a score of 23-10. Halftime programming coming up next. You're tuned to Vikings boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Elijah Ensminger, and Elijah's a junior here at Colfax High School. Elijah, we know that you play basketball, but are there any other things here at school that keep you busy?
I play baseball too.
Okay. Now, when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has it been for you?
Started in like 4th grade, and it's been fun. It's been something to do, and it's always just been one of my things that I've been pretty passionate about. So,
what's the most important thing you've learned playing basketball then?
Teamwork and probably your work ethic.
Okay, you got to get it done, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're not playing basketball, you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I like hunting and, spending time with my friends. That's about it.
All right, a few rapid-fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Your flavor?
Probably vanilla.
Yeah, because you can do anything with that, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. And besides that, it'll go on top of that that pumpkin pie or whatever you're going to have. So, yeah. Okay. Your favorite color and why?
Blue. I don't know. It's just my favorite color, I guess.
Now, Elijah, if you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be?
Probably a teleport, to be honest.
To be able to teleport. That sounds interesting. But now, if you had that ability to teleport, you'd have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Elijah Ensminger's superhero name?
Teleporting E.
Teleporting E. Okay. All right. Do you have a favorite NBA team?
The Bucks.
How about a collegiate team?
Wisconsin.
Is there any basketball player at any level of the sport in your past that has inspired the way you play your game?
I wouldn't say. I don't know. I always liked watching Curry. I mean, he's undersized and so am I, so I guess kind of related to him a little bit, but that's about it.
It's not the size and height, it's the size and the heart, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking with Elijah Ensminger today on Viking Profile. And Elijah, what are your plans for after high school?
I don't know. I don't know if I really want to attend a 4-year, but I've been thinking about probably attending a 2-year, like CVTC, and then see what happens from there, I guess.
Okay. How about a shout out to the family?
Thanks, Mom and Dad, and Grandma and Grandpa.
So when people come to Viking games to look for Elijah Ensminger on the floor, what number are they looking for and where are they going to find you?
Number 10, and hopefully right out on the floor working hard. So.
Okay, just be looking for that 10 all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to thank Elijah Ensminger for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How was it? Is it good?
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Welcome back to Durand. It's halftime. The Colfax Vikings boys lead Durand-Arkansaw by a score of 23-10. The Panthers started off pretty hot, but Colfax came roaring back.
Yeah, good job by Colfax to figure out the 1-3-1 zone right away in the first half and find that open guy and kind of jump out there. Here's the scores right now for the Durand Panthers. Their leading scorer is number 24, Ethan Herbert. He has 6 points, followed by Grady Hayden with 3 and Zach Nelson with 1. For the Colfax Vikings, their leading scorer right now is number 10, Elijah Ensminger, with 18 points. Followed by Jack Charlotte with 2, Colton Hoffman with 2, and Nick Jensen with 1.
Taking a look at some of the other games going on tonight in the DSC, Glenwood City is at Plumwood City, Elmwood tonight. That game taking place at Elmwood. Mondovi, who the Vikings defeated by 10 on Tuesday night, are playing undefeated Elk Mound at least in the conference at Elk Mound, and Spring Valley at 1-0. is visiting the Boyceville Bulldogs tonight. Start making your plans to tune in to either the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service or NLWN TV for our Christmas gift to you 2022. We'll bring you the finest and Christmas-themed old-time radio programs. That's Christmas Eve, beginning at 7 p.m. on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Well, the Northern Light Webcasting Network will be right back here tomorrow night for girls action. The Lady Vikings will take on the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers, and coverage begins about 10 to 7 for Viking pregame, and that will be followed by play-by-play action. That is on NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Audio Network. And then we will be back with the boys on Saturday night for the Saturday night closing game of the Northwest Tip-Off Classic. That comes to you from the Johnson Fieldhouse at UW Stout in Menominee. The McDonald Central Max will be the Vikings' opponent on Saturday night. The pregame will get underway at about 8:15, followed by all the action, and that's on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and right here on NLWN2. So you can follow the Colfax Vikings basketball teams throughout the season right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
3 nights in a row.
Yeah. We're busy. So we've switched ends of the floor, and now the Durand Panthers will start the second half with the ball. They're in home white, and they are going now left to right as you look on. Of course, Colfax and red coming the other way. Up top is Hayden. Hayden looking down underneath, has to pass it in the middle to Zach Nelson, back over to Bauer.
Colfax still in man.
Olmstead gets it up high. He'll dish it back to Hayden, who tries to fly toward the basket. Colfax had that pretty well taken care of. Ball gets loose, and Ensminger comes up with a rebound on the missed shot. Across the timeline, it's Blake Johnson for the Vikings. Up to Jensen, and he'll give it back to Johnson. And that shot missed, rebounded by Durand's Parker Olmstead. Olmstead dishes it out in the far corner to Grady Hayden, and we'll have a kicking violation, so basically Durand will keep it on that far corner underneath their own basket. Colfax 23, Durand 10. Inbounds throw to Ethan Hurlbert. He goes up from 6, missed, and missed again, and the rebound by Dre Bauer. Shots just not falling for the Panthers tonight, which is a great thing for Colfax. They're there to get the rebound. Up on top, Ensminger between the circles. Dishes it off to Charlo, back to Ensminger. Ensminger to Jensen, back out to Charlo for 3. Bounces off the back iron, reload by Ensminger. Ensminger out to Irwin. Ensminger's going to dish a pass off from the free throw line out to Johnson. Johnson into Jensen. Outside the rainbow into Charlo. He'll drive in on the left side, puts the shot out, missed. Rebounded by the Panthers, Zach Nelson. Bauer up the floor now with it for Durand. Durand out to Zach Nelson. Down in the corner to Olmstead. Back to Bauer. He's directing traffic in between the circles up top. Out to Olmstead. To Hurlbert. Back out is Nelson. Around the rainbow. Hayden to Bauer. And sends one skyward. Shot missed. Nick Jensen with a rebound. Up the floor. It goes quickly to Charlo. To Irwin. Irwin will drive it in the middle. Back to Charlo. Out to Ensminger, and the ball knocked loose. Durand comes up with it. And trying to go up with a layup. That ball knocked away to the stage.
Yeah, good job by number 3, Kyle Irwin, to get his hand in there. Tip it out of bounds.
Inbounds throw, it goes to Parker Olmstead. He'll send it skyward. Catches that back iron and doesn't fall. Nick Jensen with a rebound. Up the floor to an open Jack Charlo. He goes in for a layup on the right side and is fouled on the way in.
Fouls on number 12, Dre Bauer, is first.
So on the free throw line, Jack Charlo. First shot missed. And Charlo to put up the second one. That one makes it 24-10, Colfax. 15 minutes to go in second half. Dre Bauer bounces it out in the corner to Nelson. Back out to Hurlbert. Hurlbert to Bauer. Driving in, and we're going to have a foul called.
Number 42, Nick Jensen, his second.
That is going to send the shooter, Ethan Hurlbert, to the free throw line. Looks like they've got to get some moisture off the floor underneath the basket.
Yeah, Nick Jensen slid over to take that charge again, but I think he was just a little late and maybe a little low.
So on the free throw line, it is Ethan Hurlbert, 6'6" junior. First one up and in. And he will shoot the second one. That one rolls around and out, no good. And the Colfax Vikings come up with it. That's Kyle Irwin. Irwin to Johnson. Up on top, Ensminger, three-point shot. Bounces out big to the corner, into the hands of Nelson. To Bauer. Halfway down to Olmstead. Across the way it goes to Hurlbert. Three-pointer, good.
Good shot by Hurlbert. He got his feet set. Squared up and got the shot to go down.
Full court pressure out of the backcourt. Irwin tries to get it down the floor to Blake Johnson, and it flies out of bounds. Durand will get it right back. And a timeout is called on the floor. It's a full timeout by Colfax. 14-13 remaining, second half. It's Colfax 24, Durand-Arkansaw 14. You're tuned to Viking boys basketball in the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
On those days when you're hankering for something that's delicious and nutritious, simply stop by FitFam Nutrition in Colfax. They serve Herbalife meal replacement shakes, metabolism-boosting teas and protein coffees. They taste as good as they sound, and they're healthy. Come and visit the Bentons and let them prepare for you a simply sweet treat, or something for the chocoholic or coffee lover in you. FitFam is a slam dunk. That's FitFam Nutrition, complete with one-on-one wellness coaching and business opportunities. 1020 University Avenue in Colfax.
Welcome back to Durand. Colfax hangs on to a 10-point lead, 24-14 over the Durand Panthers. So to throw it in bounds will be Ethan Hurlbert. Bounces it into Bauer, and they'll bring it out nice and easy from the backcourt. Bauer dishes it off to Nelson halfway down. Nelson looking underneath, one-handed pass over on the other side to Bauer, and he'll try to get into Hurlbert. Hurlbert will go up, two misses, and now they're going to let the ball go loose, and they're going to send it back to Colfax.
Yeah, a lot of banging down there down low with Hurlbert and Nick Jensen and Charlo, and no calls.
Johnson gets it inbounds to Ensminger. They'll quickly bring it up the floor to the near side. Dribbles it off to the right side. Heads toward the corner. Give and go to Irwin. Irwin from 22 bounces off big. Jensen with the rebound. Jensen tied up with Zach Nelson, and the possession arrow goes to Colfax. Irwin's going to throw it in for the Vikings. He breaks the line, looking, still looking, goes way out on top to Medine. Or check that, that's Johnson. Johnson out to Ensminger. Back out to Irwin. Irwin to Johnson. Johnson from the free throw line will look. Sends it out to Ensminger. He'll drive, put it up from the baseline. Shot bounces off. Rebound tapped around. Pulled down by Dre Bauer of Durand. Bauer over to Hurlbert and Hayden. Hayden takes it. He'll scoop pass it to Nelson. Nelson will drive in on the right side, and we will have a foul charged to Blake Johnson of the Vikings.
That'll be his third. Colfax's second team foul.
On the free throw line, it is Zach Nelson for Durand-Arkansaw. Jay Fall, Dan Petshaw, and Rick Olson with you from Durand. Second of the two going up. And that one rolls around and out. It's rebounded by Colfax's Irwin. Irwin, up high on the near side. Now heads back down the left side of the lane to Jensen. Nick Jensen swishes it in.
Yeah, that's one thing about Nick Jensen. That he can go both directions. He can be playing down low, and all of a sudden he'll pop out and shoot that little jumper.
Panthers will bring it up the floor. Across the timeline, it's Bauer to Bates. Pass tipped away, but Durand manages to keep it. They'll throw it back to Olmsted, who'll get rid of it to Mason. Up on the left side to Bauer. Bauer in the lane. Out to Olmsted. Olmsted from the parking lot nails it. Wow. He was in between the arch and the sideline on that one.
Parker's first 3 points of the night.
Quickly up the floor, it's Irwin. Irwin under pressure, lets it go to Hoffman. Hoffman makes a move, and he's going to be called for carrying the ball. Durand has it back. Hurlbert into Bauer. Bauer to Mason. Mason back to Bauer. Three-point shot missed. Rebounded by Bates, but it's stolen away by Colfax. It's Irwin out on the far side. Irwin into Jensen. And a scurry for the ball. We're going to have a foul charge to Colfax's Colton Hoffman.
That's his second.
Up on the left side, it goes down to Parker Olmsted. From the corner, that is Ryan Mason. And all of a sudden, Durand is within 6. Down the far side, it goes to Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger into Hoffman. Hoffman stops at the top of the key, back out to Irwin at the 10-second line. Take a couple seconds to calm things down, drive toward the lane.
We got a foul on the floor.
That's going to be called on Ryan Mason of the Panthers. That's his first and Durand's third foul of the second half. Irwin looking to throw, can't get it into Charlo, stolen away by the Panthers. Quickly up the floor to Ryan Mason. He misses the layup, and it's rebounded by Jack Charlo.
Yeah,
Kyle
Jack
Irwin
Charlo.
ends up on the floor on that one.
Yeah, Jack Charlo has to kind of get into this game right now. This is where Ensminger's going to need a little help, and Colfax is going to need a little help.
Driving down left side of the lane, it's Irwin. Irwin loses the ball, tries to get it to a teammate. Tied up, Jensen fires it down underneath to Charlo. Charlo's shot missed. He'll try it again, draws a foul.
I think they got number 25. Ethan's looking like, the 25, I think.
Hurlbert, his third, 24. So on the free throw line for the Colfax Vikings. It is Jack Charlo. Charlo trouble with his first one, but he'll get a second. Charlo sends it skyward. That one falls short, rebounded by Dane Bates, and he's called for traveling. So the ball be given to Mitch Medine underneath the Colfax basket. And the big men racking up some fouls for Durand. Medine fires it up top to Jensen. Jensen puts it up from 8, misses, sends it back toward the basket, and it's rebounded on the miss by Dane Bates. Bates out to Bauer. Dishes it in the near corner to Preisel. Preisel in the middle to Bates. And the ball goes off the fingertips of Hurlbert, out of bounds. Vikings get it back. Exactly 10 minutes left in the second half. Colfax 26, Durand-Arkansaw 20. Out of the backcourt, Ensminger. Down to the near side to Charlo, back in the middle to Johnson. Johnson give and go to Medine. Medine out near the center jump circle. And ball is knocked away, stolen by Bauer. Bauer goes for the layup for 2. And it is a 4-point Colfax lead now. Out of the backcourt, Johnson out to Ensminger in the corner to Medine, makes the three-pointer.
Yeah, finally the lid goes off the hoop for Colfax.
Durand with the ball on their end. Preisel halfway down, far side. Cross court to Mason, down underneath to an open Hurlbert for the baseline jumper. Ball goes back to Durand. 9 minutes remain in the second half. He'll hand the ball to Dre Bauer. And the officials decide, well, they're going to bring it underneath the basket. Bauer going to throw it in. Bauer to Preisel. Back to Mason. Mason to Bates. Give and go to Hurlbert. Sets one up from 3. Front iron, no. Rebounded by Johnson of the Vikings. Johnson to Medine. Medine up on the right side to Charlo. Charlo trying to dish it off to Jensen. Ball stolen. That's courtesy of Dane Bates of Durand. Bauer will bring it up the floor. Drives around the screen, goes for the layup and puts it in. 29-26, Colfax with the lead. And the Panthers applying lots of pressure here. The Vikings having challenges getting it out of the backcourt.
Yeah, Colfax has to make sure they take care of the ball here in the second half. Maybe try to run a little clock.
Inbounds to Ensminger. Ensminger guarded by Preisel. Ensminger at the center jump circle, dribbling it. Driving it along the right side, goes up and draws a foul.
Foul's going to be a number 2. Shane Preisel, his first.
On the free throw line, Elijah Ensminger.
Durand's third team foul.
Shot missed. And the second one is good, though. 30-26 Colfax, 8 minutes left in the second half. Bauer on the left side to Hurlbert. And we're going to have a foul charge to Colton Hoffman.
I believe that's his third. Yep. Colfax's fourth team foul.
Vikings to get it, or Panthers underneath their own basket. Bounces it into Olmstead. Olmstead tries the jump ball or the jump shot on the right side, and he's gotten a push from Blake Johnson of Colfax.
That's his fourth.
Ooh. First free throw, bangs around and out, no good. Olmstead with the second one. That one goes in. 7:50 to go in the second half. Colfax bringing it up the floor. It's Johnson. Johnson out to Irwin. Irwin near the center jump circle. Pops it up from the lane. Shot blocked. To Scurry for the ball. Picked up by Hurlbert of Durand. Up the floor to Preisel. Down in the far corner to Mason. Back up to Preisel. Olmstead to Hurlbert. Hurlbert, one-handed pass. Mason takes a shot for 3, and we are tied at 30 at 7:14 to go in the second half. At the center circle for Colfax, Blake Johnson. Johnson out to Ensminger, up high, up top on the near side. Ensminger driving it toward the jump circle as the ball tipped away from him. The ball's loose on the floor. We're going to have a...
Oh, we got Colton's fourth.
Oh.
I don't know about that call.
And now the Vikings have 2 players with 4.
Oh, hold on a second now. It's Colton's fourth.
Bringing it up, Bauer. Goes from center to left. Alley-oops it into Hurlbert. Hurlbert tripled up on Jensen, knocks it down. And taking it up the floor is Ensminger. Ensminger layup is good. Colfax back up by 2. Driving up the floor, Bauer, ball gets loose. And kicking it out that way is Colton Hoffman. He can't maintain control. Durand gets it back to Preisel. Back out on the floor to Olmstead. He'll look at a 3, won't take it, and he'll wait for reinforcements. Bauer between the circles, out to Hurlbert. Hurlbert outside the arch. Dumps it off to Bauer, out in the far corner to Olmstead. Olmstead down to the left side, outside the arch it goes to Hurlbert for 2. Or for 3, is it?
He's got 3 threes, 9 points.
And we've got some pushing and shoving for the ball.
We got a turnover.
And a
by
foul is
Colfax.
going to be charged to Colfax's Elijah Ensminger. That is his first foul. (33-32). Durand takes the lead on that last 3-point basket. Panthers keep the ball. It goes into the backcourt to Preisel. Preisel out to Olmstead. Bounces it into Hurlbert. Drives in with Hoffman up on top. It goes out to Mason. Shot missed. Rebounded by Preisel. Preisel back to Bauer. Back to Preisel. Bauer, opposite side, left open. Mason. He'll toss it back out to Olmsted. He'll put it up on the free throw line. Misses, and the ball is going to be given back to Colfax as Ryan Mason was across the line when he tried to knock it off one of the Vikings. Inbounds, its pass goes to Jensen. Back to Charlo. Charlo out of the backcourt. Charlo across the timeline to Ensminger. Ensminger down to Hoffman. Ball gets thrown back into the hands of Parker Olmsted. Olmsted goes for the layup, and a player control foul called on Parker Olmsted of Durand.
Yeah, good job by Ensminger to get back and take that charge.
4:55 left, second half. Durand 33, Colfax 32. Colton Hoffman comes off to the side now. Colfax's Jack Charlo's going to throw it in. Tosses it in to Johnson. Back to Johnson across the timeline. Johnson dribbling it around to the far side, guarded closely by Dre Bauer. Johnson in between two people. Jensen goes up, his shot's blocked, but knocked back out on top to Ensminger. Ensminger waits for the pass. It goes back to Durand. Out of bounds.
Yeah, good look by Ensminger, and it's just a little too hot for Nick Jensen to catch.
And we have a timeout on the floor called by the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers. 4:31 remaining, second half. Durand-Arkansaw 33, Colfax 32. You're tuned to Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Durand will bring the ball up the floor. Bauer dishes it to Olmsted. Takes the shot, bounces around, no good. Rebounded by Nick Jensen of the Vikings. Irwin out of the backcourt. Bounces it to Charlo. Charlo drives, tripled up on, but goes up, misses the shot. Rebounded by Hayden. Bauer. Top of the key. Almost got it by Hurlburt, but he'll drive in from the far corner. Puts the layup and in. Durand-Arkansaw leads by 3, 35-32. Out of the backcourt for the Colfax, Ensminger. Ensminger driving along left side, pops it up, shot missed, rebounded by Bauer. Bauer in between the wheels. One-handed pass off to Olmsted. Olmsted trying to get the pass, and we're going to have a foul called on Durand's Ethan Hurlburt.
Yeah, I do believe that's his fourth. So he with 3:23 left, he'll stay out there.
Into Irwin. Driving from the jump circle, stops free throw line right from the free throw line. Shot by Charlo goes up, it's missed. Rebounded by Durand. Olmsted Dishes it off left to Hayden. Hayden for three, swishes it in. Durand now leads by 6. It's 38-32. Pressure applied, and Colfax manages to keep the ball. Ensminger out of the backcourt. Going to be guarded closely by Parker Olmstead. Crosses the timeline. Ensminger drives it into the center jump circle. Ensminger dishes it down in the corner to Irwin. Irwin outside to Johnson, open for three, good! 38-35, Durand-Arkansaw by 3. It's Bauer out to Hurlbert. Hurlbert drives in, dishes it back out to Olmstead. Olmstead down to Hayden. Hayden in the corner to Bauer. All the way back up high left side to Hurlbert.
Yeah, Durand can run a little clock right now.
Ball knocked away from Hurlbert, but Hayden tries to save it, and he's called for carrying.
Yeah, Grady Hayden thought it was tipped by Colfax, but it wasn't. Over and back.
2 minutes to go, second half. Vikings trail by 3. Jensen hands it back to Johnson. Johnson up high, back to Jensen. Jensen out to Ensminger. Ensminger skies it over to Johnson, up high on the far side. Back out on top to Ensminger. And we're going to have a player control foul called on Elijah Ensminger.
Yeah, they're going to call that. They're going to call that one all day if you give that little forearm shiver like that. I know he wants to get that little space in between, but.
Yep. Durand gets it back on the foul. Olmstead from Hurlbert. Back to Hurlbert up high on the left side. Hurlbert out to Mason. And he's called for traveling.
Jack Charlo getting a hand in there and creating turnovers. Yeah, Durand can just be careful.
And Durand takes a full timeout. We have 1:25 left in the second half. It is Durand-Arkansaw 38 and Colfax 35. You're tuned to Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
As you check names off your gift-giving list, Derry State Bank encourages you to shop local as much as possible. The reasons are countless. For example, local businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs in the U.S. each year. There are times you could save a few cents by ordering online, but when you shop at a local store, you could be saving your community. Shop local for the holidays. It's more important than ever. Derry State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have a lawn with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Welcome back to Durand-Arkansaw. Vikings bringing the ball out of the backcourt. It's Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger dribbles it into the center. Dishes right off to Johnson. Johnson into Charlo. Charlo trying to go up over the big man. Puts it up and in. And a foul is going to be called on Ethan Hurlbert. And that is it for him.
And that is Ethan's 5th. Yeah, that was a tough call, tough one for Ethan down there because he had position, and I know the coach was saying that his hands were straight up. I think he kind of reached a little, though, too.
Yeah.
Kind of drew the contact.
Not exactly straight up if you get a foul. On the free throw line to try to finish off a three-point play, Jack Charlo shot up and in. We're tied again, 38-all with 1:10 to go, second half. Trey Bauer across the timeline. Bauer between the circles tries to get a pass to Parker Olmstead, and he bobbles it out of bounds.
Yeah, Drent's maybe trying to go a little too fast.
Down under a minute. Out of the backcourt. Elijah Ensminger across the timeline. Both teams in the bonus. Irwin out on the right side. They're going to just control it and make Durand foul him. And Colfax wants to take a timeout. 35.5 seconds to go in the second half. 38-all. Durand-Arkansaw and Colfax. You're tuned to Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Friday, December 9th, when the Vikings will travel to Durand to take on the Durand Panthers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Friday, December 9th.
Welcome back. A defensive battle. Inbounds, it's Blake Johnson. Throws it out to Irwin. They keep it up top, it's Johnson. To Ensminger. Ensminger at the center circle. Being harassed by Olmstead. Back out to Irwin. Down on the baseline, it goes out to Charlo.
They can play for one here, 10 seconds.
Irwin at the center jump circle. Out to Blake Johnson. And shot is missed. Panthers with the ball. They get the rebound on the missed shot and call a timeout. 1.2 seconds to go. Second half, regulation. We are tied at 38.
Yeah, right now Colfax has to make sure they don't foul. Okay, we have a full timeout. We'll be right back.
Join us on NLWN2 for exciting Colfax High School boys basketball.
This is what we came in for!
Our next game will be on Saturday, December 10th, when the Vikings travel to UW Stout to take on the McDonald Central Max in the Northwest Tip-Off Classic. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Viking pregame at 8:20 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Saturday, December 10th.
.8 seconds on the clock. Durand just called a timeout. We're tied at 38. Ball is handed to Ryan Mason of Durand-Arkansaw. Mason up the floor. It goes to Grady Hayden. Puts it up. Hits the backboard. No good. And we will have overtime. We are tied in regulation at 38 points apiece. And we will be back with the overtime action here from Durand-Arkansaw. We're tied at 38-all. You're tuned to Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
4 minutes on the clock for overtime. Center jump. Ball goes into the air, tipped around, controlled by Durand. Bauer gets it back from Olmsted on the baseline. Bauer out on the right side to Preisel. To Olmsted. Olmsted drives, goes up, missed! Rebounded by Colfax. Elijah Ensminger to bring it up the floor. Still tied at 38, 3:39 in overtime. In the middle, it goes out to Kyle Irwin. Irwin to Jensen in the middle to Ensminger. Back out to Johnson, down underneath. And we're going to have a foul charged underneath to Grady Hayden of the Panthers. That will send Jack Charlo to the free throw line.
Yeah, they're moving Jack Charlo now to the post, down on the block. And now that Ethan Hurlbert's out, he can kind of go to work down there.
So this one could end up being decided on the free throw line. We're tied at 38, both teams in the bonus. And Charlo sends the first one up, and it's missed. It's a 1-and-1, and Durand, Grady Hayden comes down with it. Correcting traffic, it's Dre Bauer. Bauer out to Grady Hayden. Hayden back out to Dre Bauer. Bauer drives the lane, puts it up from 14, good. Durand 40, Colfax 38. In the backcourt, it quickly goes out to Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger down along the far side, doubled up, bounces it back to Irwin. Irwin caught up along the left side of the lane, gets it back out to Jensen. Jensen dish it back to Ensminger up high on the left side. Ensminger will bring it back to the center circle to set it up again. Ensminger driving up from the corner of the lane. Shot missed, rebounded by Durand. Ryan Mason stolen back by Jensen. Three-pointer missed by Blake Johnson, and we have a foul underneath the basket.
Yeah, fouls on number 25. Dane Bates kind of grabbed Charlo's arm there at the end.
That is his first. On the free throw line is Jack Charlo. Vikings down by 2 in overtime. Cuts that lead in half. Durand will send Colfax to the double bonus on their next foul. Second one by Charlo is good, and we're tied at 40, 2:34 in overtime. Bauer across the 10-second line. Bauer, one-handed pass to Olmsted up from the corner, good. Durand by 2. Colfax brings it up the floor. Blake Johnson up high on the right side.
Durand goes the man.
Dishes it off to Irwin. 2 minutes left in overtime. Jensen gets it at the top of the key. Jensen has the ball tapped away. He'll dish it back out to Johnson. Johnson caught in the corner, and Johnson pops it up. 11-footer missed, but rebounded by Charlo. Three-pointer missed, rebounded by Parker Olmsted. Up the floor, Mason open. Layup is good. Durand by 4, 1:40 to go in overtime.
Durand is going to press.
Blake Johnson on the baseline, gets it into Ensminger. Ensminger up the floor to Irwin. Irwin out to Ensminger. Ensminger drive, bounces it down underneath, going up with a shot. Charlo knocked out of bounds by Durand. 1:28 left in overtime 1. 44-40 Durand.
Yeah, Colfax has to try to get this inside. They don't have to go for 3 right now.
Irwin up top to Johnson. Johnson between the wheels, guarded by Mason. Dishes a pass out there, and pulling it in is Medine, or check that, that's Irwin. Irwin Caught over on the side, and we're going to have a timeout called by Colfax. 1:11 left in overtime. It's 44 for Durand-Arkansaw, 40 for Colfax. You're tuned to Vikings boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
The Vikings started the second half with a 13-point lead. Mondovi came back and tied it at the 7:14 mark. We've been tight since then. We're in overtime number 1, 44-40. Durand-Arkansaw with the lead. Blake Johnson's going to throw it in. Tosses it in to Kyle Irwin in the backcourt. Irwin stops, drives, puts it up. Shot is missed. Rebounded by Durand's Dane Bates. Bates to Dre Bauer. There's 55 seconds left. Out to Parker Olmstead. Out to Hayden.
Yeah, Colfax has the foul.
It's going to be charged to Kyle Irwin.
They're not in the double bonus yet. Next one will be.
Shooting, Grady Hayden for Durand-Arkansaw. Shot miss, rolled out, and now Irwin is going to go on top of Charlo as he tried to get that ball.
Yeah, that's a big foul. That puts Colfax on the line, and the clock only second or two came off.
Yeah, Blake Johnson was actually the player fouled. He's going to get 1+1. 47.6 seconds left in overtime. Johnson's shot missed.
We're in double bonus, so it'll be one more.
Oh, yep. So Blake Johnson gets the second on the double bonus, misses that one too. Ball tipped around, out to 10, that is missed. Ball still kept by Colfax. Blake Johnson trying to get it in to Jensen. Back out on top, it goes to Ensminger. Three-pointer, missed. Coming up with a rebound, Durand, and he gets it back, tosses it into Irwin, back out to Jensen. Jensen goes up, doesn't draw a foul, shot blocked twice. And knocking it out of bounds for Colfax is Kyle Irwin.
Did they get a timeout? They did. All right, we'll stay here. I'm not for sure about that call. Somehow Durand got a timeout on that one. It was a loose ball on the floor. Somebody kicked it, and Durand got
Yeah,
called.
it was kicked by, I'm not sure which one of the Vikings kicked it, but it did go out of bounds. So, just a great effort by the Vikings as far as rebounds and that sort of thing. It is just being hard fought under both baskets.
Yeah, they had 2-3 chances there. Good job by number 25, Dane Bates. Get his hands in there and create a turnover. So, yeah, what do we got? 16.3 left.
Durand-Arkansaw 44, Colfax 40.
Yeah, Colfax is going to have to follow right away.
NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network will be right back here tomorrow night when the girls teams from each of these schools battle. So Parker Olmstead's going to throw it in on the baseline. Olmstead gets it into Preisel, and looks like we're going to have a foul charged to Elijah Ensminger. That's his third.
Yeah, Durand goes to double bonus.
And that's going to send Parker Olmsted to the free throw line. Durand-Arkansaw has a 4-point lead and is on the free throw line. 13.6 seconds left in overtime. Shot missed. Double bonus, he gets 2. So he'll have a second opportunity here. Olmsted's a 5'10 sophomore. And he misses the second one as well. Jack Charlo with the ball, and the ball's knocked out of bounds, trying to knock it away. Dre Bauer of Durand, 10.7 seconds left.
Yeah, I would go for a 2 right here and then take the fall.
Irwin to throw it in. Gets it down in the near corner. Back to Ensminger. Ensminger puts a shot up, and it's knocked down. And Durand gets the ball up the floor. It goes open to Ryan Mason. And they'll pull it away. And Durand-Arkansaw, in a very hard-fought, exciting game, ends up beating the Colfax Vikings boys tonight in overtime by a score of 44-40. We invite you to stay tuned now for the Vikings postgame show, and we'll talk to Keith Knoll as well, or Mark Knoll. You're tuned to Vikings boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax boys basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame, where we'll take a look back at today's Colfax Viking boys game.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are, they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Time now for Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. And now, Viking Postgame.
Welcome back to Durand-Arkansaw, and the final score in overtime, the Durand-Arkansaw boys pulled out a hard-fought one over the Colfax Vikings, 44-40, and we have assistant coach Nick talking with us tonight after the game. And Nick, a hard-fought battle on all ends of the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the kids played hard, and, you know, in the first half defensively, I think we were really elite, giving up 10 points and gave us a really good chance to win. I think in the second half, just turned the ball over a little bit too much, but kids played really hard, and that's what you want to see.
You bet. Durand's pressure have a lot to do with that, and they seem to just, you know, put it on big.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was the changing point in the game. You know, I think our guards started to play a little bit too fast, and, you know, they credit them. They played really solid defense down the stretch in the second half. I mean, holding us to 17 points in the last 22 minutes of a game is pretty tough. So.
Yeah, it was kind of, you know, the tables were turned in the first half of the game. Durand struggled with turnovers, and your guys, you know, pressured and caused a lot of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Defensively, I think we had really good help side defense, and you know, our guys coming in, taking some charges, especially on the Herbert kid and the Nelson kid, getting them out of the game in the first half, I think was a big key for us. So tomorrow, just get ready, get to work for McDonald on Saturdays. So.
And what do you expect from that one, Nick?
It's going to be a battle. McDonald's is a good, solid team. We had them last year in the crossover game as well. They came out in a zone, so we're going to see a lot of the stuff that we saw in the first half tonight. So prepare tomorrow, and then get ready for Saturday.
So this one was a good tune-up for what you're looking forward to on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, especially this being a conference game, would have been nice to pull this out, especially on the road. But move on and try to get better each day. So.
You bet. And you get another shot with them at your place. So
absolutely.
That's always fun.
You know, that Nelson kid kind of got hurt against Prescott on Monday. Probably one of their better players that can shoot. So, you know, we'll see a different Durand team when we play in Colfax. So.
Okay. Nick, thanks for stopping up and talking with us. Absolutely. And we'll see you again on Saturday.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Enjoy your night.
So the Durand Panthers pull off a close one against the Colfax Vikings boys by a score of 44-40. That is going to send the Durand-Arkansaw Panthers up to 4-1 on the season and 2-0 atop the conference, but it's early yet. And the Colfax Vikings fall to 3-1, and they are 1-1 in the conference season. It was 44-40 in overtime. How'd we get there, Dan?
Yeah, here's the scores for Durand tonight. Their leading scorer was Ethan Herbert with 14 points, followed by Grady Hayden, Dre Bauer, and Parker Olmstead with 6 points. We had, I missed one. We had Ryan Mason with 11. We had Zach Nelson with 1 for the Colfax Vikings. Their leading scorer tonight was Elijah Ensminger. He had 21 points, followed by Jack Shaw with 8, Colton Hoffman with 4, Blake Johnson with 3, and Nick Jensen with 1 point.
So losses are tough, whether, the margin's big or small like it was tonight. But, a silver lining on this is that the Vikings got a chance to kind of get ready for the McDonald Max on Saturday night, who they'll face with a very, very similar game, it sounds like.
Yeah, this was a tough game, and we kind of knew it was going to be a tough game. It looks like Colfax, Durand, and Boyceville are kind of be, in the hunt on the top, and all these games are going to be important down the stretch. But good job by Colfax to stay in this one, taking the overtime, and quick rest tomorrow and get ready for Saturday.
You bet. Tonight's Colfax High School boys basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Derry State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's technology IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as their names sound, plus they're healthy. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors by paying them a visit for bringing you Colfax Viking boys basketball in the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2. So be sure to tune in to...
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.